What's up, everyone? It's me again here at the podcast at Poteet Homes, your favorite, Sonny, Estrada, bringing it to you real live and fresh today. Today, I want to talk to you guys more about what's going on in today's market. Now, today's market could be tricky, it could be confusing, and it could also be maybe, discouraging or encouraging, depending on what side of the ball you are on. Now, right now, what we see is important to know is that we all hear about what's the one thing that you, whether you're a real estate professional or not, that you've been seeing. And one thing that comes to mind is interest rates. Now, interest rates are affected based on a lot of different factors. And the main factor today that I want to discuss to you about is what the whole interest rate aspect of it is and how it's actually being adjusted accordingly. So right now, what we've seen in the past couple of years are a lot of changes and a lot of things that have occurred in the real estate market. And the biggest thing that comes to mind is the corona pandemic. Back in 2019, pre-pandemic, interest rates were about a 3.5%, 4.5%, which would be considered a low interest rate, meaning in the past decades, that interest rate would fare very low compared to what, in the last 100 years that we've seen. The last couple of years, we have been real spoiled on having our interest rates stay pretty consistent. And so 2020 came around, and now you have the pandemic that began. So in order to take, a real close attention to the pandemic itself with the virus, the economy was shut down, right? A lot of these lawmakers, a lot of these policymakers and political seats elected, to shut down the nation per se from producing lumber, from producing plastics, from a lot of different variations in the industry. So what happens is the workforce began to deplete, right? So a lot of people were being laid off, or not even laid off, just more so not even working because the pandemic, right? We shut things down, things weren't moving as quick, things were starting to kind of slow down as far as businesses, restaurants closing down, all those things started to happen. So in that time, while those things were occurring, the federal government decided to essentially lower interest rates. And by lowering interest rate, it spiked a very big interest supply and demand, interest and economics in the whole real estate market. So what began to happen is these interest rates began to lower, but then housing prices began to get higher. And why that happens is because the demand increased. The supply maybe stayed the same, maybe went up a little bit, or maybe went down a little bit, but that wasn't so much the case. These interest rates really got the buyers out there quickly, and therefore began to spike up these very, very interested buyers to come out and purchase a home. And in some cases that we saw, some were even paying over asking price because that interest rate was just so favorable to their numbers that they were willing to pay $20, $30, $10,000 over the asking price. Now, as we move along through time, 21, 22, we hear this time around, things have changed dramatically, right? So what we've seen here in this current market is the material cost for lumber is no longer on the uptrend and is already began its decline, and is declined fairly decently in the last 6 months to 12 months. But that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're getting into right now is this. Interest rates are now no longer 3.5%, 4.5%, whereas in 2020, 2021, we saw even 1.9s, 2.5% interest rates. Now we're all the way up to 6 and 7% interest rates. Now, what does that mean? Well, the thing is, if you're in the market to purchase, it doesn't necessarily mean much more than my payment might be higher, but my options on the market are much more, because the supply is still staying consistent. Whether it went up or down a little bit may be the case, but the biggest thing is we want to make sure that this right here, that's the biggest factor, is that now the demand has decreased. That demand has decreased, so therefore you as a buyer have more options on the market for negotiating, etc., etc. So what I foreshadow here in the next maybe 12 to 14 months here is pretty much, we see that the main driver for these interest rates increasing is because through the pandemic, through Corona, we had inflation occur. Inflation occurred because the federal government and the government in general began to hand out loans, right, or different types of monies, PPP money, government loans, distributing money to other countries to help aid the coronavirus. So trillions and trillions of dollars were spent, and that there has to be paid by someone. But where that comes and gets paid from is not a guess. It's straight from the taxpayers here in the United States. So therefore, in order to adjust for that, the federal government elected to raise interest rates, which is a normal process, and therefore it's affecting the real estate market, not in a negative way, but it's just in a way that we need to be aware of. So for you buyers, this is an excellent opportunity to continue to find great deals. The next 12 to 14 months, we should probably see an increase of interest rates for maybe another year and a half or so. And as that time goes on, we want to let you know that these deals that you see out on the market are going to be an excellent opportunity for you to come in and purchase these deals on a lower price point. And even if you're trying to build with us, those the pricing structure for our homes are also seeing a good decrease in the amount of, I guess, aggressiveness, right? That it was increasing over time. These costs to build, that has decreased tremendously and kind of have plateaued. So we're able to give you excellent build pricing here in this time, and which is an excellent thing for you to know of. And so that brings us to our next point. Right now, as we always advise, is a great time to get in the market and begin looking at the possibilities and understanding that, hey, if I make a move now, then let's lower our interest rate when that time comes by doing a refinance. And if you are looking to wait, what is the reason behind you waiting? Are you waiting for prices to decrease more? That could be a possible route to take. Are you looking to wait because you want to see what the market does? To me, that may not be the best option, because the market may go one way or the other, and therefore leaving you in a position where you have no choice but to purchase or make a move in real estate when you're least expecting to, right? In a position that may not be favorable to you. So that's why I like to tell people, don't wait. Let's get your ducks in a row. Be ready to make a transaction on the market. And guys, I'm speaking on behalf of myself personally. We're making acquisitions and we're selling properties on the daily, on the weekly, on the monthly basis. So we want to encourage you to continue to stay active in the real estate world, but not get discouraged by the interest rates, because again, you would want to, what we say in real estate, marry the home, and then therefore you could divorce the interest rate, date the interest rate basically, because you could always leave that interest rate and you could always stay with the home, but you can't do it the other way around, because the home you see on the market today, even though it may not be a deal that you can't pass up, it still may be worth attaining, because we know in the future you're going to be able to lower the interest rate, and then that home there that you did purchase, you could then sell at a later time or even rent it out, which I will tell you guys, we have a rental portfolio and we're so proud of it, because it's providing us an opportunity and a vehicle to develop long-term wealth, and we want you to be on that same vehicle with us. And today, guys, that's pretty much what I'm starting with today for you to know about, is just to make sure that you're staying active in this real estate market, staying proactive by being able to apply with us here at Poteet Homes. And what I'm saying is, the main thing about all this is, if you stay educated, if you stay active in this real estate market, it will not let you down. And you can begin by giving us a call at 210-201-3570. Catch us on Facebook, Instagram on Poteet Homes. Call me personally at 210-473-0677. My name is Sonny Estrada, and I'd love to assist you here in the future with your next real estate transaction, guys. We love you guys. We can't wait to see you. And if you have any questions, please contact us. Drop a comment below. We have a frequent asked questions tab that we're creating, that we're going to get back to these questions and hopefully interact with you on them to help you master this game we call real estate. Thank you, guys. God bless. And thank you again for tuning in. Please subscribe and please share, because we want to get our word out to everyone out there that is looking for information based on real estate or even in life, because life has its challenges, but we also want to encourage you that you can fight through any challenge you have. Just keep the Lord on your side, and we always encourage you to do your best. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.